Happy Friday. It's your boy Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So listen, we have to break down the stock market in this one, do an update on the charts, how we're looking right now as it is about 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast, and we'll go over some stocks I'm watching, live updates on the tariffs, what's going on there. But first, hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe, follow along for more content, and join the free email newsletter. We send out the top stocks, my top stocks, weekly for free. Simply use that link down below, put your first name and your email address, and boom, you're in there. And with that being said, let's dive into it. So it's about 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast right now, and we do have some green. Not all the indexes are up, but we do have some green. The S&P's up 0.3%. We have QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 up the same, roughly 3/4 or 1/3 of a percent. Now up around 1/4%. Either way, right there with the S&P, and the Dow Jones is up 0.1%, so barely up here on the day, up around 50 points. Trying to get back over 40,000 points here, guys, the Dow is, and the Russell is down 0.5%, hovering at about 1,800 points right now. And we have gold, guys, and silver for that matter, moving up. Gold's up $75 an ounce, up 2.2%, and we have silver up around 3%. We'll talk about why here in a second. But overall, going back to SPY and QQQ, you guys can see on this 5-day, 5-minute chart, we are holding support above the highs from earlier this week. You guys can see that on this 30-minute chart. Even better, we're maintaining roughly 525 on SPY, which was the high, I believe, from Monday, right? Monday and Tuesday. So we broke out of it on Wednesday. Now we've held it for the last day and a half. Yesterday and today we've held around 520, 525 for the most part, right? And on QQQ, if I pull this up, we can see it's holding above the highs from earlier this week as well, being about 443, 445. We're holding that today. We held it for a good amount of the day yesterday. We did fall through in the middle of the day yesterday, down to about 435, but we recovered and closed over 445, which is a good sign. And obviously, we're not full-on breaking out or doing anything like that, but we are noticing some support in the low mid 400s on QQQ and SPY at about the low 500s, mid 500s. We are starting to see some support here after Trump paused the tariffs, 90 days for all these countries other than China, obviously. And he's keeping the tariffs at 10% on 75 countries or whatever it is. But China's are still at 145% now. And we all know the whole trade war is in reality between China and the U.S. A lot of the other countries are most likely going to negotiate and come to some sort of deal. But will the U.S. come to a deal with China? I'm not too convinced quite yet. And we're still very much so in a downtrend on SPY and QQQ, obviously, on the 4-hour time frame. The longer time frame you look at, the more you realize, oh yeah, we're still very much in a downtrend, and now literally all the indexes are down. As I've been making this video for a couple of minutes, all the indexes have gone red. So let me show you here this article, which shows a couple of live updates regarding the tariffs, what's going on here. There's Trump right there. So this says Trump tariffs, live updates. China raises retaliatory duties on U.S. goods to 125%. So boom, just as expected, China increased tariffs after the U.S. did that yesterday and the day before to 145%. We can see now they're at 145% on China. And again, China their tariffs on the U.S. 125%. And Donald Trump said late yesterday that he was not tracking a fall in the stock market as he met with his cabinet secretaries amid worsening trade tensions with China. The U.S. dollar was at a 3-year low against the euro and gold, which is a safe haven asset for worried investors, which is at an all-time high. So that's one thing worth mentioning. The U.S. dollar is weakening against the euro. I believe I was reading the, let's come down here a little bit more, a bunch of other currencies as well. And that goes to show people are flooding out of the dollar. It's not as safe as people think, and gold is pushing to all-time highs. I mean, that's the real safe haven asset, which is why I've been saying like a madman for years on my channel, don't write off gold. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, no one's buying gold, don't invest in gold. And I'm not some kind of gold bug that's like, you know, put all your money in gold. It's nothing like that for me. But I do believe having some money in gold, having some money, some part of your portfolio in gold, it makes sense for scenarios like this. And just in general, it's a great inflation hedge. It's a great safe haven asset, especially in rough economic and uncertain times like we're in today. And I find it funny, Trump said that he was not tracking a fall in the stock market. I find that hard to believe. I mean, I know he says that he's not tracking the stock market, but come on, let's be honest. I personally think he is. There's no way he's going to let the stock market crash completely on his watch. I mean, it has come down a good chunk, but come on. He definitely has the market in the back of his mind. There's no way. Trump at the end of the day is very ego driven. I've said this before. He needs the stock market to go up throughout his term. His second term here. Sure, it's down a little bit, but the term just started. It just started a couple months ago, and in my humble opinion, he's going to do whatever it takes to get that stock market back in due time, because at the end of his term, he's going to be like, oh, I'm the best president ever. I mean, he said that in his last term, right? He's going to be like, I got the stock market back on track. I got, a bunch of jobs back in the U.S. We'll see how that goes. But he's going to be like, I got the economy to all-time highs. He's very ego-driven. We all know that. Love him or hate him, right? And he just can't see the market drop on his watch. But of course, I mean, it's not fully in his control. Things could get out of hand and the market could crash. And he can't do anything about it, but he's going to do as much as he can to keep that market or to get that market back to highs throughout his term. I truly believe that, which is why I've been buying stocks. That's not obviously the reason why I've been buying stocks. It goes way deeper than just Trump's term. I mean, I'm investing past Trump's term, but I think in the short term, we're going to get a big bounce back. That's just my opinion. So you can see here as the trade tensions escalate, gold surging. We covered that. The dollar's weakening. We saw the 10-year get to, I don't even remember what, but the 10-year kept going up like crazy. I don't know where it's at right now. Oh, here it goes, or here it is. The U.S. dollar tumbles even compared to the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc stood at $1.22 against the dollar again. The U.S. dollar has weakened against the euro as well. You can see here the euro has strengthened against the dollar, reaching $1.14 of its value, the lowest performance of the U.S. currency in half a decade. Yes, that is pretty nuts. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover when it comes to that. A couple updates there with tariffs. China increased tariffs as expected. Gold's roaring as expected as well, and the U.S. dollar is weakening, which I'm not surprised there. And all the indexes now, like I said, they were in the green slightly earlier, but now were red. They flipped red, and that's the kind of market we are in. You guys all know that, right? Now the S&P, the Dow, NASDAQ, they're all down about 0.5%, and the Russell, which was down 0.5% when I started this video 9 minutes ago, now it's down 1.4%. Yes, you heard that right. So I'm sitting on my hands. I might buy some stocks later today if things get really ugly, if we start slipping way more than what we're seeing now into close. Sure, I'll buy stocks, but at this point, I'm just sitting on my hands, kind of waiting things out and seeing. I really want to see if QQQ goes for the lows here, maybe back towards the low 400s, under 400. Let's see if SPY starts going back under 500. If so, that is where a lot more deals are going to open up. And even though we have a red day right now, guys, some stocks are pushing. JP Morgan is going up on the day, which I believe they reported earnings today, right? Oh, wow. Yeah. So we got the banks starting to report. You know what that means? Earnings season is here. So we have JP Morgan up about 1.5% on the day. Let's see what they did earnings-wise really quickly. EPS on a GAAP basis, $5.07. That beat the $4.62 expected. Sales also beat $46 billion versus $44.1 billion expected. Pretty good. So that's a quick glance there. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but it's still overall in a downtrend, pretty clear. AMD's moving, which is one of my holdings, up around 3% on the day. Their earnings are coming up pretty soon here. We can see in a couple of weeks, probably early May. Yeah, on the 6th of May, we're getting earnings out of AMD. This one's up 3%. NVIDIA's pushing up on the day, about 0.5%. Nothing too crazy, honestly, but it's pushing as we got news recently that they're going to still be able to sell their H20 chips in China, which I believe Tencent, Alibaba, ByteDance, a couple other big players there have already ordered $15 to $16 billion of these H20 chips in China, which, I mean, that's big. It's big, right? And if they got completely cut out in China, NVIDIA, that would not be good. But the fact that they haven't been, they're still able to sell these chips there. That's bullish for NVIDIA, no doubt about it, in the short term and longer term as well. So I'm excited about that. NVIDIA's up around 0.5%. Google's up 0.5% as well, holding up pretty decently. But keep in mind, all these stocks are still in a downtrend. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Run the likes up. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow along for more content. Join that free email newsletter. That's linked down below. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you guys in the next video.